By investing this 8-9 crore on IPL, you will get to a certain number of people. Fair enough. So the campaign starts, IPL starts, and I'm looking at my matrix on a daily basis, and I'm seeing that the numbers are flatlining. Like, ye kya ho raha hai? And I see my weekly media delivery numbers, they're 20% above the promised number. So my media deliveries are doing much better, my business numbers are stagnant. And this trend continued. In fact, my numbers started to go down. And that just like confounded me like to no end. And I'm getting calls from Cape Town and Amsterdam, which is where the leadership used to say, what's happening, why the numbers aren't growing? And I had no answer. And I didn't have an answer till the time IPL got over. So within the first 3 months, I failed spectacularly. I almost like batti laga di thi 8 crore rupees ki.
Okay, awesome.
What were the challenges that you were facing as a CMO at OLX? Because it's a relatively new brand. आपको बहुत सारी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, establishment करना पड़ेगा, लोगों को समझाना पड़ेगा भाई OLX है क्या. So what was going on and what was the most challenging thing that you remember?
यार हम कोई भी अगर डिजिटल कंपनी को आज देखें, कोई भी, and I think digital is ubiquitous now. If you look at it, the genealogy or the anthropology of internet businesses, कुछ नहीं है, ऑफलाइन बिजनेस का ऑनलाइन वर्जन है. पॉलिसी बाजार के लिए पहले LIC एजेंट थे, मेक माई ट्रिप के लिए पहले ट्रैवल एजेंट्स थे, एंड सो फोर्थ. तो मतलब द यूजर बिहेवियर जस्ट गॉट ऑनलाइन, राइट? एंड विच इज़ वाई 2013-14 के बाद बूम हुआ था, क्योंकि phones became cheaper, data became cheaper, so all of a sudden people said कि हाँ चलो मैं इधर चला जाता हूँ. लेकिन OLX was such a thing कि the offline industry did not exist. मतलब if anybody you haven't used OLX, I'm like OLX when you sell your used goods to people like you and I. मतलब पहले the closest thing will be a kabadi wala, and which is where we had to establish the industry, and then obviously that online. The degree of separation from a user's comfort zones were many. So without getting too technical, it was a monopolistic market. Till the time you don't get to 70-80% market share, you can't monetize well. And we had like an equally well-funded company, a much larger. We were 40 people in the first year of operations. They were 800, which was quicker. So, and they were about 10-12% larger than us. But I think Amar and I, we understood that what we have to do is expand the industry, not just like take the little bite of the very minuscule industry that's online. So I think that is a big, big challenge, because you had to change consumer attitudes. You had to just like, deploy. I'm like, my hand used to shake when I used to sign off on $2 million ROs, right? As a CMO, I invested in 4 years upwards of $110 million. And again, nobody taught me. And that used to like scare me shitlessly. That I'm signing off $2 million, my sign is on that. And the future of the company in a highly monopolistic market depends on this particular signature. So that is like a huge, huge challenge.
Has it ever happened with you where, because you're given P&L responsibilities, because you are dealing with so much of money, right? Something tanked very badly and you felt very bad about it, but the next day you had to go there, address your team and tell them, don't worry guys, we'll sort this thing out. Has that happened to you?
Within the first 3 months. So I joined in Jan 2013. Within a month, we launched a campaign in February. So आते के साथ ही काम शुरू कर दिया था. And that campaign was going gangbusters. February, March, we were growing like this. That campaign was doing really well. So my super boss, a Dutch guy called Martin Skietbauer, he once called me and he said, hey, your numbers are good. That was the accent. Your numbers are good. Take $1.5 million extra. We have this from the global kitty, and see what you want to do with this one. And $1.5 million at that time was 8 to 9 crore rupees, 55 rupees per dollar. So coming April, this is in 2013, I said, kya karte hain? This campaign is doing well. Let's expand the reach. I took on IPL. Yeah, so I took an associate sponsorship of IPL at 8.5 crore rupees, the first digital company to be on IPL. A certain number was promised to be by my media agency. By investing this 8-9 crore on IPL, you will get to a certain number of people. Fair enough. So the campaign starts, IPL starts, and I'm looking at my matrix on a daily basis, and I'm seeing that the numbers are flatlining. Like, ye kya ho raha hai? And I see my weekly media delivery numbers, they're 20% above the promised number. So my media deliveries are doing much better, my business numbers are stagnant. And this trend continued. In fact, my numbers started to go down. And that just like confounded me like to no end. And I'm getting calls from Cape Town and Amsterdam, which is where the leadership used to say, what's happening, why the numbers aren't growing? And I had no answer. And I didn't have an answer till the time IPL got over. So within the first 3 months, I failed spectacularly. I almost like batti laga di thi 8 crore rupees ki. Lekin then I found out, I spoke with my customer support head. Because on OLX, what happens is you put a listing for your product that you want to sell, and that comes into the system, and then that goes live on the system for other people to look at and buy. So I said, kya ho raha hai? Leads kyun nahi aa rahi hain? Leads, we used to call it leads, right? But like, Gaurav, there's like one stupid trend that we have seen, that every time there's a 3:30 or 7:30, the leads go down. Why is this happening? And now you guys have to understand why curiosity is so important for a marketer, which I said. 3:30 and 7:30 were the time when the broadcast used to start for the matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mobile internet was very small at that time. So if a person starts to watch the match, the internet traffic was going down, right? And 3 months later on Comscore, we saw India internet traffic had gone down during April and May. So while people are seeing my ads, they were not reacting to it. Because you were only on laptops and PCs at that time.
Yeah.
This thing wasn't as big over there. That was like a huge failure. But then it led me to do something which I still do till this date, that I'm not going to depend on some external party matrix for me to deploy my millions of dollars.
Right.
And that's when I started doing econometric modeling, media mix modeling, statistical analysis to understand how to do better investment decisions. Because you guys read about $100 million raise, $500 million raise. In any B2C company, majority of that goes to the marketer.
Yeah.
And majority of a marketer's P&L is the media cost that you pay to TV channels, Google's, Facebook of the world. So if my investment decisions are going wrong because of a tool that doesn't take into cognizance reach ka relation with your business, then you're going to be wasting that money very, very rapidly. So mercifully, that huge mistake came at the very early stage of my OLX career. And I think that was the difference because of which we started to make better investment decisions and be quicker, like hands down.
Lovely. I'm going to skip your Girnar South journey here because I want to bridge your journey from OLX, where you were suffering because mobile internet was not so big, to a company that you shifted, which was Zupee. And Zupee is into online gaming. And probably Zupee also, you bet on IPL again, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but you can tell me that story as to how that improved this time around. So in Zupee, what was the kind of trend that you were seeing? Interestingly enough, you joined this particular organization when probably the entire nation was on their phones because COVID was also there. So how was that time like, and how did you evolve as a manager, and what did you see as trends is my question.
So I joined Zupee about in June of 21. Again, just post Delta, but then this company was about $100 million at that time. And a lot of you wouldn't have played Zupee games because Zupee is into real money gaming, Ludo, snakes and ladders. And typically our target audience is tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, 18 to 28, 29 males. So blue collar workers, right? So anyone in this room is not the target audience. So I'm very sure that you guys might not have played Zupee. But when I joined Zupee, the whole thing was RMG was already, real money gaming was already a big thing. Dream 11, Rami Culture, Bazi, MPL, Winzo, all these guys had already invested. Dream 11 had invested 3,000 crore by then. MPL had invested close to 2,000 crore. And everybody else had like invested 800, 2,000 crore. And here we were trying to create a category within RMG, because RMG as a category was either into fantasy sports, which is where Dream 11 was the big daddy, or card games like poker and rummy and all, which is where Gamescraft, Rummy Culture, these guys were making a lot of money. We started off casual and board games, Ludo and snakes and ladders, which is why we had an audience which is mostly in the smaller towns of the country. Now, when you're the last person and the others have invested so much of money, and people know that now you're doing something interesting, it can be very easy for like a Dream 11 to open up a Ludo game and so on and take your mind away. So we had to. My problem statement at that time was, in last year's IPL, was to just make a lot of people understand what Zupee is all about and associate itself with the casual and board games, which is why I again went on IPL, invested close to 26 crore rupees That was the brand launch for Zupee. And if you look at Google Trends, it's a very powerful tool, guys. Use it. And search for Zupee as a brand term. That's when we started to see a hockey stick jump. Google Trends just tells you how many times are people searching for the search term that you just inputted. So Zupee being one. So Zupee, why is such an important thing? Because people are consciously thinking about you. It's called mindshare. If you get the consumer's mindshare, there's no stronger moat for you as a professional. So we induced huge amount of mindshare, especially around our category, by being on IPL and going to other places also. Like today, Zupee, till about a month back, which is where I was, month and a half back. When I joined Zupee, it was about a $100 million valued company. Today, the underlying valuation of the company is $1.8 to $2 billion. So in 2 years, we grew the company like massively. It's EBITDA profitable to the point of 13 to 14% EBITDA and 80% market share in the casual and board games RMG. So I think that one big decision kickstarted, and we did a lot of interesting things otherwise.